Hello everybody, it's me Pierre here. Today I got a awesome video to talk about because it's only I think it's 13 days away, maybe 12, when we will be getting the Oasis driver for Windows Mixed Reality. Not just for the G2, I want to make that like super clear. It's not just for the G2, it's for all Windows Mixed Reality headsets, which I'm very excited for. But it's very fucking hot in my room, so it's like really hard to talk right now because the Vive headset's also very hot right now, and it's a hot mess right now. Anyway, besides the point, Windows Mixed Reality will be back from the dead soon, and I'm super excited for it. And I was looking on his GitHub page, which I will put in the description below if you want to learn more about this driver. What I noticed, it basically just completely gets rid of anything to do with Windows Mixed Reality. Just completely scraps it. It's just gone. It's just 100% Steam VR now, except for one thing was reused, which I think it was for specifically the tracking of the headset only. And it looks like he's fixed a lot of problems that were problems previously. So, and also fixed problems with, just his driver in general, which is really good. And there is things that are not there yet, like for an example, 100% pass-through. So you still have to have it on your controller, but you don't look around with the controller, you look around with your head, I'm pretty sure, and like there's the screen right here instead of attached to your face for some reason. He said he's going to try and get the complete view so you can have it, actual proper pass-through, but I don't think he's going to have that on release, like he said. And he also doesn't have an anchor for the headset, and you might be like, what's an anchor? So you know how when you boot up into Steam VR or any VR application, like of a game, there's this little box, there, like your little play space box. Yeah, that's not there. And what that means is it's not going to affect tracking or anything, at least not that I think it would. It basically it's just not there, and so when you boot up a game, it's not going to remember which orientation you had it. So what you have to do is in Steam VR specifically, you just got to, let me see what it's called, I forget every time, recenter. You click the recenter button either by going into the menu, or you hold down the button to recenter yourself. I don't know if that will work with the G2 controllers, but I know that works with the index controllers. You can either hold it down or go into the menu and click recenter and just stare straight on where you want it to recenter. Because without an anchor, it's not going to remember exactly which orientation you're in. I'm sure it'll remember the tracking. The tracking should be fine. But it just won't remember your orientation, and it should remember where your floor is and everything too. I'm just assuming it just doesn't remember your direction you were in your room the next time you boot it on, and then you just gotta recenter. It's really not that big of a deal, but I do hope he finds out an anchor system so you don't have to do that every time. But it's not really that big of a problem for me, because I recenter myself all the time anyway, so that's just not an issue at all for me. It might be an issue for other people, but yeah, and I hope he does find a way to make an anchor to remember exactly which orientation you were in, because he was talking about how it's fine for seated play, but possibly for standing it might cause some problems, which it's very small. I know what he's talking about when it comes to the anchor, because when I use my index controllers with the G2, my whole anchor is just gone. It's gone. It's evaporated. It just doesn't remember which orientation I'm supposed to be in. And, yeah, that was annoying, but it wasn't too bad. So, yeah, I do hope he figures out an anchor system. But what I'm excited for is that he is working on the pass-through stuff. So it does look like there is going to be new features for the HP Reverb G2. What I'm really counting on now, since it seems like it is a thing that's going to happen for... the things that I was asking for is going to happen, which is awesome, and I thank him so much for doing all this work for the G2, but all Windows Mixed Reality headsets on top of that. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you for, like, all that stuff, bringing back these headsets from being, unusable anymore and being just e-waste. Now they're not e-waste, and now people can buy these headsets for dirt cheap, and the G2 is still one of the best headsets for visual quality out there, so it's great to see it, coming back. And I bet it's going to run so much better on Steam VR, both tracking-wise and just in optimization, as in like running games and stuff. Because if you saw one of my posts, it uses so much less VRAM, and I'm super happy about that. And it looks like it uses so much less regular RAM too. So that is just a huge bonus, because if you're playing games with such a high resolution, being 4K that the G2 is, you're going to run out of VRAM pretty quickly, and it's really nice to see that it fixes that problem for many people, because I had a VRAM problem with my G2 as well, where it would always spike and then it would crash. Usually that's what would happen with my G2, is it would use up all my VRAM, and that's what I think led to the crashes. That or Windows Mixed Reality Portal would just have problems running with SteamVR and just have a hiccup somewhere in the code and then it breaks. But now without Windows Mixed Reality and without Windows Mixed Reality Portal, I'm sure every Windows Mixed Reality headset out there is going to run just so much better and more efficient with SteamVR, because now you just boot into SteamVR without needing Windows Mixed Reality to give you permission to do that. And it is just straight up SteamVR. Sure, the Oasis driver is that set of code that's going to help the G2 work with SteamVR again, but that's all you really need. It's not you don't have to ever worry about your G2 or any Windows Mixed Reality headset ever working anymore, because it's always going to work now. Because that's great, because it just fits in with the SteamVR ecosystem now. Just like how you could use a Quest with Steam Link and stuff like that. It's so much better. And not just that, the G2 is just going to have so much better compatibility now. It's just going to be so much better. And I got to stop saying G2. Let's just talk about Windows Mixed Reality headsets in general here. Windows Mixed Reality is just going to be so much more compatible with many different games and many different softwares now. And that is just so fantastic to hear. So if one of you guys are still on that Lenovo Explorer or Samsung Odyssey, and you want to just keep using it and you don't want to buy any other VR headset or whatever, still a great option. Good for you. And same with G2 owners. If you're sticking with the G2 like I'm going to be for a while at least, because I do still have the big screen beyond on my radar. I'm debating on that, but I love the G2 so much, so it's probably going to take me a long time to ever really switch from it. The only thing that's kind of running me over with the big screen beyond is OLED, but other than that, really, the G2 is still great. But that's besides the point. I actually can recommend the G2, and not just the G2, but Windows Mixed Reality headsets in general, to every one of my viewers now. So if you were interested and you missed out on the G2, and you wanted to get one for the longest time, and then Microsoft fucked you over and you didn't know what to do, well, here's your chance. You can get a G2 right now, because on August 29th is the release date for the software. You're going to be able to use the G2 again. It is a great headset for sim racing and a great headset for flight simming as well, especially for how cheap it is. But it also is great for just using it, as in, like, it's good for VR chat because of the visual quality, but not just that. It's great microphone and headphones really help it be a great VR chat headset. And its lenses are really good, and not just that, it's just really good for visual quality, but you also get the bonuses of a Valve Index, basically, because of the head strap of the Index, and the microphone being quite on par with the Index microphone on top of that, so it's really on par with it. So you get just this huge bang for your buck with this headset, and the G2, I recommend people get more than any other Windows Mixed Reality headset. You can still get a good bang for your buck with other Windows Mixed Reality headsets, like the Samsung Odyssey is a good option as well, but the G2 is definitely the top tier one if you want to really get your money's worth out of Windows Mixed Reality headsets. So yeah, the G2 is a great option for that. But anyway, I want to talk about things like what I'm excited for and what I can't wait to see. I stepped on something sharp. That's why I oh my god, that hurt. Anyway, besides the point, I can't wait to actually see what is in store. And let's talk about what I hope to see more of, because it already seems to be confirmed about the pass-through stuff. I'm really happy to see that kind of stuff. And I hope it works with index controllers when I use the G2 with index controllers. I hope it lets me still have compatibility with the pass-through and still see things with the index controllers, and I hope I don't have to always use the G2 controllers, which I'm not against. I could use the G2 controllers again, but, you know, finger tracking's great. what I really hope to see is if the G2's Bluetooth will let you connect the index controller straight to the headset. Hear me out. Here's why I would love that. Because with calibration and with the Vive's Bluetooth, for an example, my Vive, which I'm wearing right now, I like how I'm pointing to it like it's still over there when it's not anymore. The Vive's Bluetooth is really bad, so if you're too far away from it, and I mean like a fucking millimeter, like you don't have to really be that far away from the Vive to have it start shitting the bed. With my G2, when I use the Vive as a Bluetooth adapter, when I was using my G2, when I'm playing Beat Saber, sometimes the controller will just fly away and then come back because it's losing tracking, and sometimes the controller will actually just completely turn off and then turn back on, and it'll lose tracking. But when I get nice and close to the Vive, it doesn't do that anymore. So the Vive's Bluetooth sucks. So it'd be really cool if there's a way they could get the Bluetooth in the HP Reverb G2 to work with the index controller, since it's running on purely Steam VR now. It would be really nice to see if I can pair my index controller straight to the G2, so it makes calibration so much easier, and I don't have to worry about the tracking shitting itself anymore. Because my Bluetooth on my Vive decides to be wonky sometimes. You've seen it in some of my videos. So yeah, let's hope that gets all done. Another thing that I'm really happy about is I heard he fixed the way you move your head with the G2. That was actually a problem with the G2. I noticed with, unlike other VR headsets, the G2, when you look upwards, your head gets slightly pushed back. You could feel it. Like, when you're looking up, it kind of goes let me demonstrate. So you're looking up like this. So see my hand, how it's doing this? The G2 felt like it's doing this. But every other headset feels like it's doing this. But the G2 feels like it's doing this. And now, he said that he fixed that. And not just that, sometimes if you calibrate the G2 wrong when you're doing it, sometimes it'll go like this when looking side to side, only on one side, by the way. It never does it on the other side. So, like, let's say your right side, see, you're looking just fine when you tilt your head this way with the G2, but sometimes with the G2, if you're looking on the left side, specifically with me, it feels like it goes up when you look that way. And it seems like he fixed that. He fixed all that, which is awesome that he fixed that, because that was a big problem with Windows Mixed Reality, and I blame the software for that, because that's where you recalibrated the G2 and used it. So it's really nice that he fixed that. Excited to see that. Excited to see how well the tracking is. And also, to people who are competitive in VR and love Pavlov or Contractors or Onward, the G2 does work. There's a huge misconception of the G2's tracking that I find, which is really annoying, which is occlusion. People say it's not good for occlusion. That is wrong. If you check out my videos, I play Pavlov and stuff with the G2 just fine, especially aiming down the sights. Sure, is it true that you have to have the G2 just slightly forward a little bit more with a gun? Yes, that is true, but it's not it's not painful to use. It's not bad to use. You can definitely 100% aim a gun still with the G2 just fine without your arms getting sore. It feels the same as every other headset. You just got to get used to the G2 being a little bit further. And I mean, it's only by a little bit. You'll see in my video that I hold the controllers a little bit further away from the G2 than other headsets. It's not that big of a problem. So, yeah, I still recommend it for shooters. It's still a good headset for shooters, especially for how high resolution it is. You could definitely aim a sniper and get someone pretty good because of how many more pixels you have to see that person super far away. Moving on, I am really excited to see other features added to the G2, which the features he added are great. Like, you could turn down the brightness of the headset and turn up the brightness of the headset. I don't know how much brighter the G2 can get, because the G2 was already bright by default. But he showed it in the settings that it's in the middle of the slider. Are you telling me that the G2 had more brightness to give? Are you telling me the G2 could be even brighter than it already was? Dude, that thing already flashbanged me when a flashbang went off in VR. That shit was blindingly bright. You're telling me I can make that shit brighter? HP was holding back on us? Is that what's going on? I don't know. It's just like, wow, holy shit. So yeah, you can make it darker, or you can make it much brighter now. Or you can just keep it at its default, which looks like it's in the middle of the slider, which is fucking awesome. the G2 needed something like that. It's basically like a Quest 3 now, the G2, because the settings look like it's very Quest. So that's really awesome to see. And not just that, if you're worried about compatibility issues with the G2 or any Windows Mixed Reality headset, he has a setting in there. You have to reset Steam VR for this, though. I think he said, is you could turn on emulate Oculus Touch controllers, which is fucking fantastic to hear, because now you got Oculus controllers working with the G2, not like actually physically. I mean, like, it's gonna overlay the layout of a Quest controller onto the G2 controllers, and even the Windows Mixed Reality controllers, the Generation 1s with the touchpad, those will emulate button presses instead of a touchpad, and then you use the joystick to move and play. You know, because, like, most games didn't support the fucking joystick on the G1 and other Windows Mixed Reality headsets for some reason, so you always had to use the touchpad, like Vive 1, but, now it looks like it's going to have lots and lots of more compatibility to the headset, because now you can emulate Oculus controllers, which is one of the most, like, available controllers out there. Like, it's the main layout. It's the, how do you explain that? It's the layout you want, for VR games, because, the Index controllers has that Oculus layout. Obviously, Oculus controllers do. It's the... Yeah, there we go. Industry standard when it comes to controllers, which is the 2 buttons, the joystick, the trigger, and the grip. So, and it looks like the G2 and other VR headsets of Windows Mixed Reality will be able to emulate Oculus Touch controllers to make compatibility even better. If you are a Beat Saber player, on top of that, the G2 actually works with Beat Saber shockingly very fucking well. Better than other Windows Mixed Reality headsets. I have a tip for those who use a Quest 3, Quest 2, and a G2, and also any Windows Mixed Reality headset. If you're playing Beat Saber and you find the tracking to be not so great, because you're just like, oh, when I swung up, it glitched and it missed the block because the cameras didn't pick it up. What you want to do with, specifically, more with Windows Mixed Reality headsets than Quest headsets, but still do this with Quest headsets, to give yourself an advantage and actually be on par with those who have base stations when it comes to Beat Saber, hold the controllers more like this, so the cameras can always see it, or hold them up like this, the sabers, or it's really not that bad, it doesn't ruin the experience. Just hold them where you think the cameras can see them, so your controller has the most optimal tracking, which actually works so well for me. That's why you see in my videos when I play Beat Saber with the G2, I kick ass with it, with the G2, when people say it's not good for Beat Saber, when you just gotta be, you know, aware that you gotta keep it in front of the cameras sometimes. And the G2 does track well even without the cameras, and you might be like, huh? So with the controllers, they have, you know, it's like prediction where the controller is actually gonna go. The Quest 2 and 3 have this, where if you put the your hand above your head, it tries to predict where it actually is. The G2 snaps in place pretty quickly, so if it's out of the range of the camera and you pull it up, it instantly snaps to it as soon as the camera sees it. Or you can, for a small amount of time, wave like this before it stops tracking without the cameras. Like, you can still do all that stuff, just like the Quest 2 and 3, just fine. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are excited for the G2 to come back, because it's actually a very comfortable headset. It is just one of the all-time VR headsets. And as for Windows Mixed Reality in general, lots of cheap options. You can get a Windows Mixed Reality headset anywhere from ranging from $50 Canadian all the way up to $200 Canadian. I'm lumping in all the headsets, so like you're up to $200. Sometimes you'll see like some people selling them for $500, which at that point it's a little iffy, but I mean the G2 is quite a good headset. As long as it's a G2, then sure, snag it, especially if it's an Omnicept, because the G2 Omnicept has eye tracking, mouth tracking, and a heart rate sensor. So, which you could use that heart rate sensor to control your calories, how many calories you actually burn, by sensing how fast your heart is going when you're playing things like Beat Saber and stuff like that. So you could have like a little calorie burner or something like that with the heart rate sensor. And as for the eye tracking, you could have foveated rendering to save on GPU performance. So wherever your eyes look, your peripheral vision drops in resolution, the peripheral vision, but you don't see that because that's not where your eyes are looking. So it basically uses foveated rendering and keeps only the middle area where your pupil is seeing stuff, sharp, nice and sharp, highest resolution. So you can save on GPU performance if you have a lower end GPU with the HP Reverb G2 Omnicept specifically. And it also has mouth tracking, so you can like stick out your tongue in a game, or you could do some funny expressions and stuff like that if you want to. You could also remove the face tracker as well. It comes off, it's magnetically attached. You could also replace if you don't like the PU leather face pad that the Omnicept comes with as well, if you just wanted it for the eye tracking, mouth tracking, and not the heart rate sensor, you can actually take off that face pad, get a regular G2 face pad, the one with the nice fabric, the nice soft material, and put that on there. And it works just fine, and then it'll be super comfortable. So yeah, and he is going to make sure the eye tracking works too, which is really awesome. That's really nice to see that he's letting the eye tracking working. I don't know if the mouth tracking works yet or not, but I hope he figures that out too, because I didn't see it there. Maybe it does include with the eye tracking. Maybe mouth tracking is included in there, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm super fucking excited because I get to use my G2 again, and I can stop ear raping you guys with this microphone because I could, the Vive microphone is so much worse than the one that I have on right now, which is one that I attach to the side of the Vive. The Vive microphone is ass. You guys don't know this, but every time I edit a video, I ear rape myself. So I have to go into my editing software and fix that, which makes all my friends so much quieter though in the videos, but I have no choice. It's either you guys get your eardrums blown out by my voice in those videos, or you had to deal with just how quiet the video can be sometimes, because I don't have a choice. With the G2 it will fix that because the microphone's really good, so with the G2 it should fix that problem, and you guys don't have to worry about me being super loud in videos anymore, because sometimes I talk very loud and the microphone just doesn't like that on the Vive. The Vive mic is bad, but this microphone that I have, this mod mic that I put on the Vive, is also really bad, but not as bad as the Vive mic, so it's either I choose really bad or just bad. I didn't have much of a choice. So yeah, the only thing I'll miss from this Vive headset is its OLED. That's it. Other than that, the G2 is absolutely going to destroy the Vive when I switch back to it. It's gonna feel like a new headset again. Actually, it will feel like a new headset. I don't know how it's going to track. No, not like that. I don't know how do I explain that? I don't know how it's gonna draw the boundary. I hope it's like the Quest headsets where you draw it. You actually draw it with the controller instead of taking the headset and walking around with it in your room. Windows Mixed Reality people know what I'm talking about. I hope instead you put the headset on, you're in an environment, it goes into pass-through, and you draw it, which, again, he didn't have the pass-through ready. He only has it on the controller, where you can see it. I guess you could still do it with the controller, because look, you could point and still draw it, and you can see where you're drawing in your room through the little, camera, I guess. So yeah, you can still draw your boundary. I hope he instead lets you draw your boundary like the Quest headsets and let you grab the floor and put it down where it should be, because it would be so much easier and so much more friendly to newcomers to VR, because it's just a much better, efficient way of drawing your boundary. If not, and if it's still the same way that Windows Mixed Reality has been doing it, that's no biggie. I can do it again, but it's still going to be a little annoying, but I mean, that's fine. It takes a lot of work to do this shit. I get it. I don't want to push the guy, so take your time. Can't wait on the 29th to test out the Windows Mixed Reality headsets again, because I have 2 of them. I'm going to try the Lenovo Explorer. I used to have 3 of them, by the way. I used to have the Acer, the Lenovo Explorer. No, I used to have 3 of them. One of them I sold, which was the Acer one. I have the Lenovo one still, and I have the HP Reverb G2 still. So I'll be testing those 2 headsets. I would test the Acer one, but unfortunately I just do not have it anymore. So I just cannot test that for you guys, but I will test those 2 headsets. So as soon as it releases on the 29th, I will be right to testing. So like my normal tests, I'll be doing Beat Saber, Pavlov, and VR Chat. So VR chat being the tracking test, how far I can lift my hands above my head, where I can lift them in the back or up and down, that kind of stuff, that fun fandangle shit. And then with Pavlov, it's the occlusion test. Gotta test it, gotta see how well occlusion's gonna work, if you can aim with it or not. And then the Beat Saber test, which is just how fast you can actually swing the controllers without them losing tracking, or how good it is to play Beat Saber with. And that's a good test as well. I'm gonna link the GitHub in the description. I'm gonna also link his channel in the description as well, so hit him up with a subscribe as well, please, if you can, because he's doing great work for everyone who has an HP Reverb G2 or any Windows Mixed Reality headset. And also, yeah, just check out his GitHub and his channel, because that would be very great. And also, wishlisted on Steam. It's on Steam right now. Type in Oasis driver for Windows Mixed Reality. That's what it's called. Or just type in Oasis driver into Steam, and you can download it right there. Yeah. Well, no, you can't download it yet. You gotta wishlist it. 29th, you can download it. Anyway, I'm super excited. Can't wait. He probably is gonna add more features to it. Who knows? But yeah, this is fantastic, and who knows, maybe we'll get hand tracking with the G2 one day and other Windows Mixed Reality headsets. That would be very fucking cool. Anyway, yeah, that's about all I have for you guys today. Yeah, that's about it. It's been a minute since I made a video, hasn't it? It's been a week, maybe a little over a week. I finally caught up with all my VR chat videos, so all those are actually done, edited, finished, so I had to record some new ones when I get the chance to do that. But yeah, that's about all I have for you guys today. There was one other thing I was going to mention, but I forgot, and it's probably not too important, but yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys are excited for the HP Reverb G2 and other Windows Mixed Reality headsets. Let me know if you have a Windows Mixed Reality headset and if you're going to start using it again. And yeah, and if you're excited for this Oasis driver. Also, let me know in the comments below what you guys want to see with the Windows Mixed Reality Oasis driver for the headsets, to see if they can add more features and whatnot. But yeah, that's about it. GitHub in description, and his channel will also be in the description, so check that out. Also, one quick thing, I have a new channel, if you haven't checked that out yet. It is a Riff Racer channel, strictly for Riff Racer, because I thought it would be fun, and it seems like it's doing alright, so check that out as well. That will be in the description as well. It's called Pira Racing. Check that out in the description below as well. Yeah, this was Pira. Stay cool. Hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel. Don't forget to ring that bell icon so you don't miss any more of my content. Like the video if you like, dislike if you dislike. And yeah, that's about it. Maybe I'll do some through the lens videos someday. That's something I wanted to do for a while. My Google Pixel camera should be good enough, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this was Pira. Stay cool and stay the fuck out of my fridge. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.